Hello, good morning, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you are doing good. Today is 4th of December. We have many important articles to go through. But before that, I would like you guys to pay attention to this important quote by Victor Pinchuk. Art, freedom, and creativity will change society faster than politics. And the main key word here, the focus word, for me at least, is this word called politics. Now, generally speaking, when I say politics, right, I'm sure it generates a bit of negative feeling. Things that pop up in our mind is these dirty games that politicians play with each other, or various different political parties, they play with each other. And it's not just something that we find in our country, it is something that is going on around the world. But that's not what politics is all about. I'll give you another point of view here, that politics is so strong and so important that it impacts each and every option that we have in front of us. May it be what types of hospitals we are going to have in our country, what types of roads, what types of technology we are going to use, what sort of things will be part of our school curriculum and things like that. Everything, right? Direct, indirect touch of politics, you'll find it, and it should be progressive rather than this sort of negative games. And the reason why I'm paying this much attention or putting this much of stress on this particular quote is because today, if you go through various different articles that we have on our table, like uneasy fields, this one is about farmers, this one is about geopolitics, this one is about South Asia, regional politics of South Asia, then you have this making planning fashionable, the boundaries of ethics. In all these articles, one thing that you will find, it is a very subtle thing, and that's politics. Anyways, we are going to talk about all of them in detail. But before that, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses, which are designed by best faculties of our country. You can go through the demo lectures. It's available on StudyIQ.com. Right. Once you visit our portal, you will find all this, various different exams and pen drive and Android courses available for various different exams. If you have any question or queries regarding it, you can feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now, on Sunday, we have talked about milk sector. Milk sector is indeed associated with farmers, isn't it? Particularly in our country. Yesterday, we were talking about yesterday was Monday, so we were talking about this growth and GDP, and we were talking about this farmer situation as well, isn't it? What are the things that we need to do? So we have talked about all those things already. Or I can also put it this way, that we have done SWOT analysis. SWOT, S-W-O-T. So here S stands for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So what I want you guys to do is that to go through yesterday's lecture. If today is your first day, or for whatever reason, if you have missed Sunday and Monday's lecture, then I highly recommend you guys to go through past two lectures, go through the topics that we have discussed, and then come back to this lecture, because then it will make a bit of sense. So all those regular students, right, to go through this, just do a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths in our side as far as our agriculture sector is concerned? What about the weaknesses? What are the things in which we are lacking? Like, say, for example, irrigation. What are opportunities out there, right? Like, say, milk sector is a big opportunity. What are the threats? Threats like countries like, I'm not saying threats like it's not all about negative. It's not competition that is the biggest threat. I think climate change, say, for example, is a big threat for this farm sector. So think about it from this point of view, right, from this way, and I'm sure you'll learn so many things that we have discussed, and you will add some more things by yourself as well. Now, on Sunday, you were provided with a picture, and that picture was about this big rally that was taken out by this Kisan Mukti Morcha, a 2-day this protest is going on in Delhi, and the main core demand of these farmers is that, like, farmers from 24 different states, they have gathered here, and they are asking for what their core demand is a special 21-day parliament session to discuss the crisis in India's agrarian economy. Now, agrarian economy is important. Yesterday I gave you this example of agrarian economy going down and how it can impact our manufacturing and how it can impact our services. So see, the thing is, I think I should not repeat the things that we have already discussed here, right? As I told you, go through last 2 days lecture. And another key demand is loan waiver. Now the thing with loan waiver is, as you know, we have different categories of farmers in our country. Large and medium farmers, they have access to formal loans. When I say formal loans, I'm talking about loans from banks and other institutions. But small and marginal farmers, they don't have access to formal loans or any sort of loans that fall under this category of formal loans. And because they don't have this access to formal loans, whenever government is giving this loan waiver, it will benefit only large and medium farmers because they have documents and everything. If you don't have documents, if it's just a verbal informal contract between two parties, that's what happens when we talk about small and marginal farmers. They borrow money from private money lenders, so there is no documents or anything like that. So loan waiver is not applicable to small and marginal farmers, and they are the ones who require this sort of loan waiver. So it's not going to be helpful. The other thing is, it will create a very negative culture. In fact, it has in some pockets. We can see this thing that we have a very negative culture now as far as this loan waiver is concerned. Like farmers, what they know now is that you borrow a loan and you take a loan and you don't have to return the money, right? The bank people, they don't have enough staff. They will chase after you. But in a village, it becomes nearly impossible for an outsider to come to that village and take out money from, because then the whole village becomes one and you'll have various different people, your relatives and other things. So it becomes nearly impossible for them to practically take away something from you. This is a reality that I'm talking about. And the other thing is, farmers, or there are a few people out there, I'm not saying each and every farmer is doing this thing, but of course you can understand there are people out there, what they know is that don't pay the money now. When we will face election at that point of time, we will demand this thing from our local politician. He or she will pass it to his or her leader, and finally they will provide us a loan waiver. Now just imagine, like today this thing is going on with farmers, then tomorrow industry sector, next day students, then service sector, all various different loan borrowers, loan takers, they will start asking for loan waivers. So this will create a very negative credit culture, which is detrimental for our societal, in fact, for our economy. The other thing is they are asking for better remuneration for their produce. They are what their demand is that rather than giving us fake MSP promises and things like that, it is important that you give us something else. And yesterday's this scheme, Telangana government scheme, that can be applied here. So that's another thing. We have talked about solutions already. Now elections are just around the corner, and we know that when it comes to farmers, it's a big political topic. But the thing that political parties, both the ruling as well as opposition parties, should understand that yes, they have to talk negative about each other. That is part of politics. But the thing is, there are so many things that are out there. We have this potential to change the face of our farmers and our economy. We can feed whole Asia. We have that potential. But this sort of negative politics is not going to help. And I have one question for you guys. Like agriculture sector clocked a growth of how much, right? This is a figure that you have to fill in the second quarter. Yesterday we were talking about this figure, isn't it? 5.3, and there was one more figure. So this figure has gone down as well. So this will impact overall our whole economy. And one more thing, it reminds me of this Maharashtra's farmers, right? They took out a rally back in March 2018, and this rally was special because it was one of the most peaceful rally I can remember of, right? It was so peaceful. As you know that agriculture is something that is agriculture is an issue of rural area, but this March 2018 Maharashtra Kisan's rally was so peaceful and so disciplined that this people from urban area, like farmers from various different parts of Maharashtra, they marched towards Mumbai, and people of Mumbai, they came out and they started helping these farmers, and someone was offering food, and someone was offering massage services, and someone was offering drinking facilities and clothes and other things. So it became a sort of issue of everyone, or people directly indirectly took part in this thing, because it was peaceful and progressive, and government as well paid heed to this thing, and government promised that it will do everything that is possible. So I'm not saying that farmers are behaving violently in this 2-day Kisan Mukti Morcha, but what I'm saying is that we need to learn from this March 2018's Maharashtra 30,000 farmers we are talking about, right, in this March 2018 rally. So we need to learn something from this protest, or this march of Maharashtra farmers. Moving on to another item, it is about a tariff truce. Yesterday, I provided you one infographic, and those students who have gone through that infographic, you'll find it very easy to go through this today's editorial. It's about this G20 meeting that took place in Argentina, and the big news that we got from G20 was this thing, that USA and China together, they have decided that they are going to have, they agreed to a how many days truce? That's again a question number 2 for you guys. You have to fill up the gap here. So they have decided that for a certain period of time they are going to have a truce. That means they are not going to fight with each other. Now, when I say fight, I'm not talking about physical fight. I'm talking about this tariff fight or tariff war that is going on between China and USA. And let me tell you that both these countries are giants, and if they are against each other in terms of this tariff war, it's not that it will just impact them too, it will impact the whole world. Now, USA will refrain from raising the tariff on Chinese goods worth $200 billion. It was decided that on 1st January 2019, from 10%, this tariffs will be increased to 25%. Now, let me throw some light on tariff, what it is all about. Tariff is basically like, you create a wall. It's like a tool in your hand. If you want to stop something, if you want to protect your garden, so say, for example, you create a sort of higher fence. Like if you have some, big different sort of animals who can jump a bit higher, then you would need a bit taller wall. Isn't it simple as that? So in the same way, I'll give you one more practical example. Let me think about it. Let's talk about cotton, right? Cotton is a product that is, or a crop that is produced in our country, India, as well, and in China too, right? China is number 1 in production, and India is number 2 as far as I know, right? I'm talking about the whole world. So China's production is quite high, and India's production is number 2. India's production is good as well. Now the thing is, just imagine that today, if our cotton crop is still in the field, it is getting matured naturally, and Chinese product is ready for whatever reason. Now just imagine if China will start dumping this Chinese cotton into our country for, say, for example, 5 rupees per kilo, and our product, or our Indian cotton, when it is ready, say for example it is ready as well, and the price that you can afford to sell this item with profit and everything, it is 10 rupees per kilo. So naturally, if it is 5 rupees per kilo from China, then industry, all those textile industry and those people who need cotton as a raw material, they are going to choose this one, isn't it, for 5 rupees per kilo. Then what will happen with our cotton, or our farmers? They will lose. So what government will do is, government will create a sort of tariff wall. A government will add more duty on this thing. So government will make sure that it is more expensive than domestic cotton. And if we can do this thing, then the first preference will be, by industry, will be given to this Indian cotton. So this is how tariff works, right? Now tariffs are not the most important thing, or I'm going to put it in a bit different way, right? China, let's go through China's stand at present. China has agreed that it will purchase more agriculture items from USA, so that they can keep a sort of they can address this imbalance that they have between both these countries. Now USA is not happy about this imbalance, but this cooling down, this truce that they have decided, is good for the whole world. It's a good news, because when these two giants are fighting with each other, then it's having a negative impact on all of us. Now I don't have to mention this thing, but you know it very well. Now all of us are using so many different products. We cannot say that that particular product is completely made in our country. Like say for example a car. I'll give you one example, right? So just imagine if we have a car. Let's talk about this thing, supply chain. This is what supply chain looks like, right? This is a global supply chain, a rough example of global supply chain. And global supply chain, let's talk about our country, India, right? Just imagine we are producing a car in our country, and tires are coming from Uttar Pradesh, and engine is coming from Gujarat, and lights are coming from Maharashtra, and the final product, each and every state, our 29 states and 7 union territories, everyone is contributing something and something to our this one particular car production. Someone is providing you engine parts, and someone is providing you seats, and someone is providing leather for your seats, someone is providing steering wheel. So all states are providing something, and the final assembly is taking place in Jammu and Kashmir. Just example. Then can we say that this car is just produced in Jammu and Kashmir, or only people of Jammu and Kashmir are benefiting out of this this particular car? Of course not, because each and every state has sold something. So this is supply chain of our country. Same thing applies to international or global supply chain as well. Like let's take example of this iPhone, right, which is quite famous thing. So iPhone, basically an American product made in China. Various different parts are imported from different parts of the world. Assembly takes place in China, and then it is sold in different parts of the world. So here, when USA and China are against each other, then it is going to impact the mobile industry. So there are so many different products, right, where Chinese companies are producing something, or they are buying something from USA, and so it's an interconnected world in which we are living. Look at the products that are around you. Look at the products around you. You are using mobile phone of a different company that is produced in different part of the world. Your so many things, your clothes, your fashion, your ideas, your wristwatch. I can go on and on, right? Just observe your surrounding area, and you will find that we all are using at least 1 or 2 or maybe minimum 5 global products in our surroundings. So it's all interconnected, right? And this sort of war is not going to help anyone. One more thing, right? That is one of the most important and a core thing to understand. Just to say, for example, India and China's bilateral trade. We know it very well that we are, say for example, selling items worth 1 rupee to China, and we are purchasing items worth 2 rupee from China. So our imports are more compared to our exports to China. When we compare when we see, when we go through the facts and figures of our bilateral relationship, trade relationship between these two countries, then we find that there is an imbalance of 1 rupee, and this makes us a bit sad. But that's not the case, right? What we have to do is we have to pay attention to our overall trade, right? Overall trade means the trade that we are doing with each and every country around the world, our total exports and total imports. If our total exports are, say for example, 200 rupees, and if our total imports are 100 rupees, then we are doing good here. With China, things could be a bit bad, or it could be in their favor. The balance will be in their favor. With, say, for example, USA, the balance will be in their favor. But overall, if we are selling 200 worth rupees item and buying 100 rupee item, then we are, this overall trade balance is in our favor. And that's what we should be paying our attention at. And same thing applies to USA as well. With China, they have this imbalance. But look at with India, and like, say, for example, India as well, they have a bit of imbalance. But look at the things around the world, and it's not just trade that will define, it's your investment as well. You find American company in each and every country around the world. Either you find American company or you find their military base, isn't it? So if they have their companies are ruling, this economic world, then they should not be crying. But again, as I told you, politics is something that is directly, indirectly playing a very important role, and this is a bit of negative politics, if you ask me, right? They should be paying more attention. This level global leaders, they should be paying more attention to their overall trade and how they can together work and improve or change the situation. But rivalry and competition is something that will push two countries into this mode. Making planning fashionable again. This one is about the importance of planning. We are going to go through some important items, and this article talks about leadership of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, former Prime Minister Jawaharlal, or first Prime Minister of our country, Jawaharlal Nehru. Let me tell you one thing. I know it very well. There are a few students out there, they don't like Nehruji. Some of them are big fan of Nehruji. Right? It's your choice, and you know it very well that just cracking a competitive exam requires this much of hard work. Then being Prime Minister is not a sort of, you can say, it's not a, walking on a cake, right? It's not that easy, basically, right? It's, if you don't have that leadership quality, then you don't reach there. May it be Modi ji, or may it be Nehru ji, or may it be Manmohan Singh ji, or may it be anyone else, Atal ji. So first thing that we have to respect is that we have, all prime ministers so far, they have been good, if you, overall, generally speaking. Now, when we got independence, at that point of time, the situation of our country was very bad, and there were so many people out there, they were asking us to take this path of comparative advantage, theory of comparative advantage, to be more precise. And as per this theory of comparative advantage, how it works is that, say for example, China is a place with huge population. India is a place with huge population, so labor is generally speaking cheap in a populated country. So as per this theory of comparative advantage, you stick with those things, or you try those things that are in your favor. So there were economists out there, there were people out there who were saying that we need to focus on this comparative, theory of comparative advantage. We need to engage ourselves in those labor-intensive industries like leather industry and garment industry, rather than trying pharmaceuticals and space and other things. But Nehruji came out with this idea, or it's not just Nehruji, but government of India at that point of time, under the leadership of Prime Minister Nehruji, decided that we are going to go ahead with science and tech and center of higher education research institutions working in cutting edge technologies and things like that. And his decision was right as well, because we cannot say that each and every Indian was unskilled or was not having this aspiration. If you don't have that skill, and if you are semi-skilled, then there are, if you are provided with this chance, then if you are provided with training and platform, then yes, you can convert yourself into a skilled, highly skilled person or human resource. So this was something that Prime Minister at that point of time was strongly believing in, and he was right as well. And today, whatever institutions that we have, right, some institutions that are going on since our independence, it is something, we can say that it was a vision of our former Prime Minister. Now what we are finding nowadays is that planning is something that is it is not followed, and it's not just because of dismantling of this planning commission. As per the writer, since 1990s we have changed our vision, or you can say our focus is not on planning, our focus is on something else. And because we are not paying that much attention to planning, like what our country will become after 10 years, 20 years, I'm not talking about just vague ideas, I'm talking about planning at national level, and then implementation of this thing at each and every different level. I'll give you one example of South Korea. South Korea was a very poor country, and the Prime Minister of South Korea decided that they need to change this situation. So they started, Prime Minister started having multiple meetings with various different business industry and other people, and he started having a chat with other countries as well, and they came out with a plan, and they executed this plan, and we know where they are at present. Same thing goes for China as well. China was knowing very well that at present, or there was a time when low wage was the only option available, but now they have invested or kept their eggs in this artificial intelligence as well. Take example of Dubai, right? Dubai was very well aware that one day a time will come when they will run out of this fuel or this crude oil, so they need to diversify the money that they made out of this oil sale. They have invested in infrastructure and providing various different platforms so that they can attract businesses from around the world and tourists and other people from around the world. So this all these things that we are seeing in South Korea, China, Dubai and other countries, it is part of planning, and this is something that we are lagging. That's what this article is talking about. Now this article is again easy to understand article. We have talked about this corridor many a time, so it's not going to be that difficult. Now let me take you through this area here. Very interesting, right? We have this, if you draw a line here, right? So all this portion is ASEAN portion, that is Association of Southeast Asian Nation. In this portion here you have 8 countries, right? You have Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the 8th one is Maldives. All these 8 countries are part of SAARC, that is South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. Now the SAARC is not a, you can say, hit organization. European Union is certainly, it was as well as it is a very famous organization. European Union, we have talked about EU many a times now, so I'm not repeating things. If you are new, if it's your first day, again go through Saturday, Sunday and Monday's lecture, and you will come across what EU is all about. I think it was on Saturday where we have talked about EU, this Brexit and other things. So anyways, so SAARC is not a big or a hit, I would say, organization, and one of the main reason why it has failed is because of this rivalry that is going on since time immemorial between Pakistan and India, to be precise, after independence or this partition time. Now peace in subcontinent is a prerequisite. If we want to change the face of this region here, then we need peace between particularly these 2 countries, Pakistan and India. And once we have peace between these 2 countries, then we'll see peaceful Afghanistan, and trade and other things will start taking place between all these countries here. Now I'll give you one example. The reason why we call it South Asia and it is also known as subcontinent is because one thing that is common here is culture. It's not that different, right? We have one culture, one history, not exactly the same, but more likely same. You know, there is huge amount of resemblance when it comes to culture and our taste and our preferences and other things. So when you have this sort of I would say commonness in your culture, when you have this many commonalities in your people, then it becomes a bit easier to develop this people to people contact, and this is something that we need to do here. I'll give you one example of tea. Tea is a common cultural thing in all this region here. Now Indian tea is known as one of the best in the world. If you are following my Press Information Bureau analysis lecture, then you exactly, because we have talked about this tea a couple of days ago. I have provided you some figures as well, remember? So tea is something that is quite common here, but Pakistan is importing tea from Kenya, if I'm not wrong. So we are losing a huge market. Like leather industry is big in Pakistan, and we are missing this leather that is available in Pakistan. In fact, Western world like Italy and other countries are, you know, Gucci and Prada and other expensive designer brands. They prefer Pakistan's leather, and there are so many imported clothes. If you see, then you find that it is made in Pakistan, this leather items particularly. So we are missing that thing as well. So it's a lose-lose situation for the whole SAARC region because of this rivalry that is going on between these 2 countries. So if we can sort this thing out, we know that these 2 Punjabs have this potential because they have one history, and this new corridor can change things forever for us and for the whole South Asian region. With this, dear friends, the person that you can see on your screen, his name is He Jiankui, and He Jiankui was present in the 2nd International Summit on Human Genome Editing. He is a scientist. He has edited genes of twins baby before birth, of course, and as per he means he, right? As per he, Mr. Jiankui, he claims that these twins are will not ever be affected by HIV because of this gene editing. So there are scientists out there in Western world, they are saying that this is not fair. You should not meddle with this sort of things. We should rather stay with nature. This sort of editing is harmful and things like that, and that's what this article is talking about. Now My basic question is what science is all about. Science is all about if you invent something today, then that's what scientific temperament means, that I will challenge it, and I will. It's not challenging means it's not personal challenge. It's like challenging that particular invention. I will go through it, I will do my own research, and I will make sure that what you have done is right or wrong. I'll try to find out. It's you come out with one objective, whether thing is right or wrong, or even if many times it's your objective is to know what is the main thing behind it. Whether you are right or wrong is not a question. So that's what science is all about. So if a person has invented something, then we should at least give it a go. We should try it rather than just saying no to it, because it also looks, and this is a reality as well, when it comes to permissible thing, when it comes to ethical thing, it is also influenced by business interest. And I'm sure you'd be aware about this thing too, that medical courses and so many things are designed, and you find inputs from these big pharmaceutical companies, right? They influence our curriculum as well. They influence doctors' training and other things, so that they can make huge money out of it. So if this man has if he has invented something, then it is important for the scientific community to at least support him, right? When I say support, I'm not saying that whether he has done something right or wrong, but at least give it a go, do your own research, and then find out whether this is going to be right or wrong, because this is not the first time. There are other scientists from Western world as well. They have done similar sort of research, and they are working on it. Now we have some important news items. Very quickly I'm going to take you through it. Court restrains Rajapaksa from functioning as Prime Minister. Inspector youth killed as a mob attacks UP outpost. Gujarat encounters. Supreme Court takes up a plea for SIT probe. And big news, Qatar is part of OPEC, and it has declared that it is going to quit OPEC next month because of this Saudi Arabia's boycott of Qatar. So, and then we have GSET 11 infographic for you guys. Please help yourself. Of course, you can download the PDF of today's lecture, so you can go through this vocab, you can go through this answer that I have provided, and I have one more question for you guys, and answers for 2 MCQs, and I have one MCQ and one a sort of descriptive sort of question for you guys. Download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students, and do let me know how beneficial these lectures are proving for your capacity building. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Enjoy your day. Jai Hind.